Maybe I should make a kit, pre-cut, pre-built, and then just sell it on online for people having attic vent leaks due to water splashing inside.
What's up, guys? This is a YouTube Handyman. In today's episode, I got a juicy one for you. So, I have a mysterious attic leak. Now, this one here is a house being sold by somebody, and they called me and they told me, Handyman, come over here and change this attic vent. I don't care how much you charge, just get it done, because this is the only thing holding off the closing of this house, because the buyer actually was smart and they did a second inspection. The first inspector did not catch this one right here, but there was a little stain of water damage on the ceiling on the second floor. And then the inspector caught it, so he went in the attic. He saw the water damage or the water stains, and he immediately said the attic vent needs to be replaced. So, well, I mean, this house right here is like $650,000, and well, the buyer did not want to close because they wanted the seller to change the attic vent. So they tried calling everybody in town, and nobody wanted to take on the job. Now the reason why is because this is a two-story house, and this vent right here is 25 feet above ground. So in order to change that, you would have had to put scaffolding, and it's a big job. So nobody wanted to do it. And those vents there, that's not something you can just pick up from Home Depot or Lowe's. Those are extremely hard to find. Initially, I told the seller, hey, I'm gonna have to like find the vent before I can give you an estimate. And it took me about a week and a half just to find somebody to sell me a vent like this. A week and a half. And it was a worker that worked for a bigger company, and that bigger company had a yard, and then I guess this worker was just gonna grab one of those vents and sell it to me. But anyways, that's a different story. But yeah, he was willing to sell me one, and it took me a week and a half to find him, and it was a nightmare because I was calling a bunch of people everywhere. I tried looking up online, and it's not something you can easily find. But anyways, so I gave the seller an estimate, and if you want to find out how much the initial estimate was, well, stick to the end of the video. I'll tell you. But anyways, but I gave them a number, and then I told them, hey, I'm gonna have to come over in person and take a look at it, and then I'll give you a final written estimate. So that's what I'm doing right here. So I came over as soon as I opened up the attic. Um, I felt the wind, and I knew exactly what the problem was. You can see there are a lot of water stains everywhere, even in places where you probably wouldn't even expect it to be. Like you can see on the framing there, like several feet away from the attic vent. And the reason why this is happening is because every time that it rains, the way this house is facing, there's a lot of wind coming down a hill, and then if it's windy and raining, well, the water is just splashing in and getting everything wet, and that is how the water is getting in. So even if I replace the attic vent, this metal thing right here, it's not going to change anything. The water's still going to come in because it's just getting splashed against the vent, and the water is getting in. So replacing the vent, it's not going to fix the issue, or it was not going to fix the issue for this. So I called the seller, and I told him, hey, this is what's going on. If I replace the vent, it's not going to fix it. And since this was a job for to close on a house, and then the inspector was going to come back and inspect it, and I had to guarantee the work, because if the water leaked again, guess who was going to fix it for free in the future? So I told the seller, hey, just replacing it, it's not going to work. I'm going to do something else, and that's going to fix the issue. So I explained everything to them. The seller explained it to the buyer. The buyer was not buying it, so he had me call the buyer. So I explained it to them, took pictures, and then they finally understood. So I told them, you know what? I'm the YouTube handyman. I can do everything. So I'm going to fix this for you. And you know what? This is not the first time seeing this. Um, it happens all the time. So if you have a leak in the attic and you're not able to find where the leak is coming from, well, this is most likely where it's coming from. So if you stick to the end of the video, you'll see exactly how I'm going to fix it. So let's get to it. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what in the world am I doing here? So, I told you the water was just splashing inside the attic. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm building a channel, like a drip pan, to hold the water in. Now, I'm just using metal studs right here and closing in the ends, and I just put silicone. I couldn't think of anything else to use in that area. I know the attic vent looks small, but in reality, the total length, I think it was either 12 or 14 feet long. So I couldn't find anything else to put in there. So I just had to makeshift something. This is not something that you're gonna see every day, but this problem right here, it's very common. And usually, if you have any water leaks, and they mainly happen, close to vents like this one right here, most likely it's the same problem. I've seen this countless times, and I just don't understand why more people don't do anything about it. If it's windy and it rains, the water will splash in and it's going to drip down into the attic. And if it's enough water, it's going to leak through the ceiling. But most people just, I don't know what it is. I guess they have no common sense. But that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just building a pan, and I put a piece of 2x4 underneath the attic vent you saw earlier. And it took me a little while to clear that area because it was full of staples and nails. And yeah, so that took me a little while to flatten all that up. And put a piece of 2x4 in there just to hold the drip pan in place. And it's leveled and, all that good stuff. But the reason why I took this job is because I'm the freaking YouTube handyman, and as a YouTube handyman, I can do everything. And that's how I learn. I like challenges. I like doing things that other people are not willing to do, and show you guys how very easy it is to actually get it done. You just got to use common sense. It's just this business, all you have to do is just get over the fear that you can't do something and then just freaking get it done. Now let's talk about numbers. Originally, I quoted this lady, I think $3,500 to replace a vent. And this actually was 2 years ago. This is an old video that I forgot about it. But yeah, $3,500 is cheap. In today's time, I would not do this job, like replace a vent, for anything less than $7,500, simply because I would have had to rent a scaffolding. But anyways, didn't need it. So I actually ended up doing this job for, I think, $850. It took me maybe about 3 hours and close to $150 in materials. Super easy to do. Customers happy. Everybody's happy. Haven't had a single call back in 2 years' time. So obviously my fix worked. So just to show you guys, just say yes and then figure it out. That is going to be life, and that is how all these jobs usually are handled. Hush.
Alright guys, so I'm all done finally. So, the pad that you see in front of me, the blue stuff, that is a swamp cooler pad. So if you're not familiar with swamp coolers, they're supposed to well, put moisture in the air, and in the summer it's supposed to, you know, cool you off instead of using the AC. Very common in dry areas like my area, but this pad right here is meant to take in water. So the way I did this, I built a frame out of drip edge, as you guys can see on the sides, like this one right here. And then what I did, I tucked the pad inside the frame, just like here. And now I got my drip edge on the bottom, if you guys can see. I even fill in the gap with pad in there instead of using caulking or silicone, since it would have been a waste. So I got a drip edge in the back. So let's say water pools in this area right here. It's gonna come down, and let's say it doesn't go straight down, it's just gonna hit the flashing right here and then go inside the pan that I built right here. So it's counter flashed, so there's no way for the water to get behind anymore. Now that will solve the issue with the water just pooling on this area right here and then just dripping down. Now to fix the actual splashing, that is why I'm putting this padding here. You can see I can tuck it in there, and it can be replaced in the future, but it should never have to be replaced, since this is only gonna get minimal water when it rains and it's windy at the same time. So show you right here, just stuck it in there. I even folded the edge at the end right there, so in case water gets underneath this drip edge right here, it will run down and then hit that corner and then drip inside the pan. So there's no way for the water to actually get in there. And then I gotta put some actually I gotta put some silicone in there, but you can see I folded the ends so that way that will hold water. Now this drip pan right here, this is about 2 inches thick, and it's supposed to just hold whatever moisture, water, whatever that drops down. It's just gonna stay in here and then evaporate. So there shouldn't be so much water to the point where this is gonna be filling up. If that had been the case, then they would have had like water just dumping downstairs. All done 100%. I don't think it could have come out any better than this. I'll be honest with you. I could have just put the pad against the vent, and that probably could have fixed the problem. There wouldn't have been any more water dripping down the walls anymore, since the pad would have absorbed the water. But the reason I went the extra mile on this job is because, remember, we have the inspector, house inspector, saying that it needed to be replaced. So just to be safe, I'm going the extra mile so that way there's no questioning that this is not going to leak anymore.